Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be looking at the brand new released Mythicus add-on, Biomes and Structures. Shout out to Mythicus for giving me early access to this add-on, but this is not a paid promotion and this will be my honest opinion on the add-on. So let's take a look at the guidebook. So the guidebook says we have added in 8 biomes and structures related to those specific biomes. It includes ambient effects, new mob variations, new blocks, and these structures will be found inside the biome. So we have a total of 8 biomes: Golden Birch Forest, Enchanted Forest, the Pine Forest, Fiery Forest, the Dark Ash Forest, Wild Acacia Forest, Red Alder Forest, and lastly, we have the Desert Oasis. So we are looking at a total of 8 biomes. Also, these structures include loot crates that you can find inside them, which we will show those as we go through those as well. So for the purpose of the video, I did turn on vibrant visuals, but I did turn off the ambient particle effects and the tree leaf falling effects because I am playing on a mobile device and it did lag my device, but it's because of vibrant visuals. However, let's continue on with the guidebook. So there will be new variant types for both passive mobs and hostile mobs to their respective environments. So we have chicken, cow, pig for the passive mobs, and then for hostile we have creeper, enderman, skeleton, spider, and zombies. And then if we take a look at this, it explains how it works. So biomes will spawn in existing vanilla biomes and overriding a portion of that biome. In certain cases, you may come across very small biomes that have a very slim chance to spawn a custom biome. For the best results, larger vanilla biomes will result in larger custom biomes. We have done our best to mimic the vanilla experience. So something to take note of here is that the leaves will decay, logs can be stripped, and foliage can be composted like your vanilla trees, which I think is a first for any biome add-on. With that said, I am not going to explore to try to find the biggest biome possible, but I will show you what you can find. Okay, so these are the settings for the particle effects that you can turn off for each biome. And then we are going to look at the mob spawning because that's something that you can turn off as well. This is a very unique and neat feature to have in case you don't like them. So with that said, let's move on to our first biome, the Dark Ash Forest. So the Dark Ash Forest has great trees that are constantly shaking off the ash from nearby lava pools. Some of the trees do not grow leaves because of the heat. Strange branching, sparse leaves that are fire resistant, red plants that thrive from the heat. This biome will spawn in the mesa biomes. So as you can see here, we have the different color leaves. Cactuses will hurt you. And some of the items will drop with either shears, silk touch, or by breaking with your hand. So as you can see here, the vines will break with shears because it fell behind the tree, but I didn't realize that at first. So this is why I continue to break another piece of the vine. Now, there is a known bug that I have informed the developers about, which is in regards to the saplings for the dark ash trees. So here's one of the cow variants for this specific biome. Looks really cool and fits in with the biome as well. So the leaves will drop saplings just like your vanilla tree, but the issue with this specific tree is that you cannot plant it on the custom block that it spawns on. So I did let them know about that, so they are going to do most likely a hot fix on that whenever they can. Just please be patient because they are working on multiple things at once. But I'm not sure if you can plant it on the grass. I haven't tried that, but I know with these specific blocks, like in the mesa biome that it spawns in, it will not plant at all. So now we move into the desert oasis. The desert oasis, you will be able to find these biomes in the desert. They're fairly common. They have palm trees with tall trunks, coconuts, water pools in a sandy wind, and colorful cactus variations and other desert plants. So some of these trees will have coconuts on the top that you can open up and eat. And this is kind of was like a breath of fresh air because I haven't seen any biome add-on that adds anything to the desert specifically, so it's nice to have some water, especially if you're using this add-on with something like difficulty brutal or something like that and you need to find water. This is like comes in such clutch. It's so cool and it looks amazing too. So let's go ahead and grab these palm logs. And there is also another feature in this add-on that I have not seen done in any biome add-on. And it's such a simple feature, which I will be showing you that in a second. So let's go ahead and make some planks, which can be used like your normal wood. Also, a short disclaimer, the jetpacks are not part of this add-on. I had those in there because I needed to travel, which you will see at the end why I use it. So we got the palm log core, so let's go ahead and put that down, see what it looks like. And those you can use for planks also, but it'll give you less. It'll give you 2 instead of the 4 planks that you would normally get. So let's go ahead and make a crafting table, just so I can show you that this wood can be used for the tools that you normally get as well, sticks and stuff like that. So the breaking speed of the trees with an axe seems to be in line with vanilla as well. And then what I wanted to show you was this cool feature here. So let's say we grab a furnace, right? We have no coal, no charcoal, and you need the wood to burn charcoal. This add-on will let you do it with its own wood, and that is amazing. So it can be done. So we can grab ourselves some charcoal in case we need that. Now we did get a sapling from the palm tree, so let's go ahead and try to plant the palm tree and use some bone meal. So at this point here, it didn't work only because it was too close to, I think it was a tree, I'm not too sure, but I tried again here to show you that yes, it does work. So you can bone meal the trees that you get from the add-on as well, and that will work with every single one of them. So let's go ahead and look for some coconuts. Couldn't really find any on these trees, and it's funny because I didn't realize that the one that I planted to show you guys actually had coconuts in it. So I got me some logs so I can pillar my way up so I could reach those coconuts like a true islander. So let's make our way up there because we can't climb trees in this game. And that was a little bit weird too, but it works. So now if you put the coconut in your inventory, you can crack it open and you have 2 coconuts, or a half of a coconut, or 2 halves of a coconut, or whatever you want to call it. I don't know, but that's that for the desert oasis. And then we have some foliage here. You can get that through Silk Touch. For some reason those don't break like that. But that's something that I wanted to show you as well, that Silk Touch will work for these items. So let's go ahead and enchant our trusty wooden axe with a Silk Touch, something that all professional Minecraft players would 100% do, because it is the right thing to do. So as we enchant our wooden axe with Silk Touch, you will see that you will now be able to pick up those flowers. I wish the break speed was a little bit quicker, like with a flower. But maybe that's something that they could change in the future, or maybe it's a limitation. I'm not 100% sure on it, but you know, it works. So now we make our ways to the golden birch forest, which is one of my favorite biomes in this add-on. And as soon as we get here, we see the cow variant. I love this biome because it's just so tranquil. It looks amazing. It's like when I think of the birch forest, this is what I think of. I feel like this is how it should be. And you know, we have fallen logs, we have mushrooms that grow on the trees. So let's go ahead and learn a little bit about it. This biome can be found in sunflower plains. They have fallen trees, fungi, golden mushrooms, daylily flowers, and pebbles scattered across the floor. So this just gives off such nice, chill, fall type of vibes to me, in my opinion. So with the fallen logs, you can see that there is a hollowness to them, which is nice. Yes, you can cut off mushrooms from the trees. So if you need mushrooms, that is another brand new source for you to be able to get them from. Okay, so if we put them down, you will get them the same way. You can pick up these stones as well. And I love how the fallen logs have like that covering of like moss, like golden birch moss over the tree. It just adds like so much to it. So this biome doesn't have that much in it, especially because we are in a small, very small golden birch forest biome. So there wasn't much to marvel at, but being as small as it is, it's just it does enough to give you an idea of what you'll find in there. So the branches, you can also take those off as well, so and you can place those like on other trees and stuff too. I love those branches, they just look so nice. So let's go ahead and try to get ourselves a golden birch sapling and try to bone meal that one as well, just to make sure that it does work. Okay, so we got ourselves a beautiful golden birch sapling. And I think I made the same mistake here again of putting it too close to something, because I am a Minecraft expert. So let's go ahead and put this over here. Get some of the foliage out of the way. I think that's blocking it. I'm not a tree expert. And bam, it works. You got yourself a golden birch tree. You can use that to decorate and, you know, maybe build a base inside a golden birch forest and add some VFX with another add-on maybe, and just live a beautiful, peaceful life. Amazing. So now let's move on to the fairy forest. The fairy forest has these beautiful bluish teal colored trees. Let's learn about that. So this biome is the most common of all the biomes and can be found in plains. Has kapok trees, windy upper elevations, fairy fruit that grows on the treetops, bushes and giant vines scatter the landscape. So you can see one of the pig and the chicken carrot variants for this biome here. You can see the grass is mineable with silk touch. So are these. I would just recommend, if you're gonna get any of these blocks, like, you know, the grass, vines, hanging stuff, just go with silk touch, just so that you're not mistaken on what you need with by hand or shears or anything like that. At least until you're familiar with what can be used with what. So this one also comes with hollow logs as well, with fallen trees. And what I wanted to show you here is on the top of the tree we have fairy fruit. Those are edible. Let's go ahead and eat a fairy fruit. Delicious. So let's go ahead and see what else this biome has to offer. Funny enough, this biome spawned right next to another biome that we will be checking out shortly after. It's kind of funny. So let's go ahead and get ourselves some Fury Tree saplings and try that. So that works as well. So that is the Fury Forest. Not much to show there. It's kind of the same as the Golden Birch in terms of what it has inside. So next, we are going to be looking at one of the newest cold biomes, which is another one of my favorite. That is the Pine Forest. This biome can be found in mountainous plains biomes, also known as the Meadows biome. Tall pine trees with falling pine needles, pine wood that's great for building, bushes and frosty grass, typical of your mountainous forest. So this one has logs that you could find throughout. Super cool. So remind those, get that, and you can add that to your little build. Also, if you have like a foresty like campfire site, you want to use those as logs. That'll be awesome to have. So third time's the charm here, trying to get the tree to grow. This one I couldn't get to grow, and I couldn't really find a place to plant it to get it to grow. So I decided to move on because the video was going to be extremely long. So let's show off the pine lump, which is a cool new item that's added to the forest as well that gives it some depth to the trees. So I put it on wrong, but if you break it without silk touch, it will give you sticks, which is also cool in case you need sticks. So let's just take in the sights of this beautiful mountainous forest. So now we are moving onto warmer land. We are moving into the red Adler biome. So the red Adler forest is distinctive red alder trees with reddish wood and red berry leaves. Cattails occupy the marshy areas. Swamp pools with methane bubbles can be found here. Colorful red swamp mushrooms, and these will be found in swamp biomes, but they are more rare than the others. So this one is a very beautiful one. And it's another one of my favorites on the list. It's a very, very cool looking one. So I try to get me some saplings here to try to do the usual bone sapling test, and we were able to get ourselves one. So let's go ahead and plant the sapling. Grab ourselves some bone meal. I didn't make that same mistake this time. I'm learning, see? Look at that. Minecraft professional. Genius. So that is the red alder cow variant. And this is the water with the methane bubbles. I didn't see any, but I think it's because of vibrant visuals. It's kind of a shame, but I did want to show off the compatibility with that. So with this one, we actually found one of the new structures, which looks like a pumpkin with a hat, like a witch's hat on it. It's a super cool design. I don't know who designed these on their team, but bravo, whoever did it. But just look at that. It's incredible. So I do show the structures off later in the end, but this one, let's go ahead and just go inside while we're here and see what we get. So we got an enchanting table, a pot, some bookshelves. This is something cool to find. You know, it'll be helpful along your journey if you're a survival exploration player. So there are other stuff that you can find in here: furnace, smoke furnace, lectern, as you see here, blast furnace, and there are some loot crates in here as well. So let's go ahead and craft a pickaxe and mine that loot crate. See what we find inside. We got some lapis, string, nothing crazy, nothing OP, iron nuggets, string, another loot crate up there. So some of them are hidden. You need to like legit look for them. Redstone, flint, scaffolding, and then there's the decorative bookshelves. It's another crate. Sand, gold ingot, string, another loot crate, paper, and scaffolding. So you will see later on in the video how the loot is extremely balanced. There's nothing OP, there's nothing crazy, and I feel that that's something that they did such a good job with, and that's hard to do. So let's do a little bit more exploration of the red alder forest before we move on to our next biome. We have these like broken tree stumps which look really cool. I don't think any other biome has those, to be honest, but it's such a cool addition. Alright, so that is the red alder forest. Now we move on to the enchanted forest. I have a feeling this is going to be a lot of people's favorite biome, the enchanted forest. So the enchanted forest can be found in cherry grove biomes and are one of the rarest to find. Tall enchanted oak trees with enchanted wood, and magical dust that floats around in the air, flowers like enchanted dicentra and lavender. So this was a very small one too that I found. So we won't explore much of this one, but the trees do have, of course, like every other biome, their own unique wood. Couldn't really find a biome like that anywhere else, hence the word rare. So it was super small, but let's go ahead and try to get some of the wood from here so I can show you how beautiful the color is when you craft it into planks. While we're here, let's also get some tree saplings as well, so we could plant that. And will I make the same mistake? No, I made a different mistake, but let's see. Let's see, will I make the same mistake? No. Oh, yeah, well, it grew, so it works. Next, we are going to move on to the wild acacia biome. And this is actually, I believe, the last biome on our list for this add-on. So the wild acacia biome will be found in the savanna plateaus and is relatively common. Dry wild acacia trees, a unique pink wild acacia tree, hardy wild grass, and tumbleweeds. So let's go ahead and explore the wild acacia forest a little bit. So we have some new custom blocks in the ground. Those can be picked up also, just to let you know. I'm sure with silk touch, I'm not sure if you can by hand, but it can be picked up. So now that we got ourselves a sapling, let's try to make that grow, and bam, it's pretty quick. And the trees are pretty healthy looking and luscious. So we get some sticks from the branches. Silk touch will give us the actual branch with the mushroom on top. Let's jump across, see what else we can find here. So some of the trees are orange, while some of them are pink, which is a nice touch to it as well. Plant that as well. We got another orange tree. Nice. Jetpacks. So sometimes because of Minecraft's generation, you get weird stuff like this. I just wanted to show that off. Kind of interesting. So that is the wild acacia forest. Now let's move on to the mobs. So the mobs are kind of hard to showcase because There's so many different variants, so I try to show what I could, but whatever is not shown, that will be up to you to discover in the biomes to find. But I wanted to show at least some of them. So these are the different zombie variants that you can find throughout the different biomes. I believe the yellow ones are the golden birch. That one is part of the fiery forest. The one with the wraps that looks like a mummy is part of the desert. So you can kind of put two and two together to which ones they belong to. But the variants are really cool. We saw the pig, so I won't spawn those. The enderman, I believe that's from the pine forest. That snowy look, pretty nice. And they're pretty annoying because they disappear, so it's like so frustrating. So we have some of the chicken variants. Looks like a duck. Some of these we saw already. The sheep, so there's only one sheep variant from what I can see. It wouldn't spawn anything else. That was the only one that kept coming up, so I'm not sure that's the only one or if there's more and it just wasn't working, but that's all I can find. So we have some of the creeper variants that I will be showing off. I skipped the cow also because we saw a lot of those as well, and I don't want to waste too much time because there's still a lot to show in the video for this add-on. So for the last mob that has variants, we're showing off the spider. So there's a few spider variants that you could find throughout the biomes, which have unique looks as well. And the last two things here we got are the foods, which are the coconut, which I did show you already, and how that works. And then there is the fairy fruit, which I showed you that as well, where you can get those. So that would be on top of the trees from the fairy forest. So now let's go ahead and move on to the different wood types. So each wood is going to have their own wood sets, and there's so much more wood aside from just what I'm showing here. There are, you know, things like trapdoors, fences, other different types of wood designs. There's so many. And then also, to add on top of the new wood that's added, they also added in new block designs for the vanilla wood as well. So I'll be kind of running through that really quickly after that, but there's just so much wood that it's just too much to go through. That would be something that you would need to kind of discover on your own. But all the logs are strippable. They all have trapdoors. They all have doors, logs, planks, stairs. And another cool feature about this add-on that I have not seen done with custom block stairs, and you're gonna love this. Are you ready for it? 3, 2, 1. The stairs are climbable like vanilla stairs, so there's no jumping on the block in that awkward way. Every single one of them you can climb like normal stairs. Isn't that beautiful when, you know, people find ways to make things work? It's just incredible. Now here's a quick glance at all the new woods that were added to both vanilla and the new wood blocks. Now let's go ahead and check out the structures. So we have a total of 16 structures, with certain ones spawning in certain biomes. So we have 3 in the dark ash, 2 in the enchanted, 1 in the fairy forest, 4 in the golden birch forest, 4 in the desert oasis, 1 in the pine forest, and lastly 1 in the red alder forest. Let's go ahead and check out the dark ash structures first. So this one kind of reminds me of like an alternative mine shaft, but this one is super cool. So there's many different floors and layers to this, so of course it contains loot crates, ores that you can find throughout the structure. So for this one, I'm kind of gonna let it play out with some commentary here and there in between, so enjoy. So we have a raw gold block across from there, as you can see. This loot is a good example of what I mean by it's balanced, nothing OP. Okay? And these will have spawners. I don't know. I think I messed them up because I used the kill command earlier, so I got rid of like everything. But there we have a raw iron block, and it goes even further down. So let's go ahead and see the lower levels. So this structure is mostly filled with husk spawners, so be careful with those. And it seems like we have a lower level. What a mystery. We have more balanced loot here. Some diamond blocks in the back over there. Diamond ore. Why I keep saying roar? My god, what am I, a lion? And there are a lot of coal ores as well, which is awesome to have. Now that that section is explored, let's go ahead and explore this next section of the same structure. It seems to have 3 corridors that you can go through. So not much in this one, but coal ore, which again, very balanced. Now let's check out the next corridor. So we had some husks spawning at this point, which was pretty cool, gave it a challenge. And I didn't have any torches, so I had to force my way through to find what goodies I could. So we got a bottle of enchanting and paper. Some decent loot. Now let's fly out of here and make our way to the next structure. This next structure seems to be more like a little stand, kind of like homey kind of vibes that I get. Not sure, but this can definitely be added to if you're doing like some kind of creative world, add some NPCs and stuff. But it does contain loot as well, so let's go ahead and check that out. This is something that I could definitely see myself making home in a survival world. It has a little bit of everything and it feels like it has some life to it, you know, it's pretty awesome. We have some more balanced loot, so you're gonna see that all the structures have balanced loot, like I was mentioning earlier, and it's so evident the work that they put into it, and it's extremely impressive when the developers take the time to put stuff that don't seem overpowering, because it caters to a specific demographic of Minecraft players that don't want to have super powerful stuff. So some of these structures have a lot of loot crates, but they don't contain, you know, overwhelming amount of stuff. So now let's go over to our next structure, which kind of seems more like a lively marketplace style build. This one has a lot of loot in it, and I think this is the first one that I've seen so far that actually has emeralds in it. So let's go ahead and explore this structure some. So this is the final structure within the dark ash biomes. I really like this style of build where it has a spiral staircase to like that lookout sort of vibe. That's super cool to me. This one even has some rails that you can pick up and some glazed terracotta, some sugarcane. Interesting. So this has quite a variety of stuff in this structure specifically. So those are all the dark ash biome structures. Let's make our way to the enchanted forest structures now. So the first one we make our way to is a kind of like a tower. Has a very awesome design, so I can show you that from top to bottom. So let's start exploring. So right at the start we have a zombie spawner, so this might be a little bit more dangerous than some of the other structures we've encountered so far, aside from that mine entrance or that mine shaft thing. But there are some different materials here: amethyst, calibrated sculpt sensor. We have a spider spawner here, some raw gold blocks, loot crate, and then a broken nether portal that perhaps maybe might be easier to fix than one of the ruined nether portals you find. Let's see what else we got in store for us. So from all the crates that we've broken so far, we've only gotten 2 diamonds, which is still not a whole lot. And I would still consider this balanced because the structures are not commonly found and are not always guaranteed to have diamonds within the loot crate. So to me, this is a fantastic job so far. So I had a feeling this door was hiding something, and voila, a raw iron block. Stay vigilant, my friends. Let's continue checking out these loot crates. Let's make our way over to the second and last structure of the Enchanted Forest. So this one is not too extravagant, but it is nice to encounter while exploring. It's a bridge with some iron ore, some crates, but that's pretty much it. So, oh, and some raw gold blocks as well. But imagine, you know, exploring, coming across a bridge like that. That's so cool, so cool. And you got that spawner with some drown, so be careful with those as well. So you can see from here that the structures stretch very far because there's quite a few. Like I said, there's 16. So with that said, let us move on to the Fairy Forest structure. There is only one there, which is this giant tree house. And this one is super cool as well. So just take a look at that. That's awesome. Now that we're here, let's go ahead and do some exploring. So with each structure, I was trying to see what the enchanted books were to see if anything was OP, but it kind of really wasn't in my opinion. It had a quick charge too, which is not powerful in my opinion. And again, like I said, some of the items are hidden. I wanted to check here to see if I could find anything, but there was nothing there. So let's keep moving forward. This was one of the structures I enjoyed quite a bit. It has so much in there. It had, you know, its own farm. It was like ready to live in, minus the spider spawner, but that can be easily taken care of. So we got ourselves another enchanted book, which is multi-shot, not too bad. So I noticed these pots, they don't have anything inside them, but the loot crates do, but the chests also, they don't have anything either. So with that said, let's visit the next floor. So you can see as we reach the top floor, there is a lot to unpack here. We have an anvil, enchanting table, crafting table, furnaces, pots, raw gold blocks, bookshelves, tons of bookshelves, everything that you need to make this your home. So here we have diamond ore, a lodestone, a jukebox. I forget the name of that saw thing. Saw cutter? I can't remember. Stone cutter? There you go. My Minecraft expertise is showing again. We also got a campfire, but there's a lot on this structure. But it makes sense because it's the only one here. It's so big, so it makes sense for them to have a lot of stuff. So now let's go ahead, head back down to get ready to head to our next structure, which will be the structures in the golden birch forest. Let's head out. So in my opinion, this structure has a rather unique feel. It feels very cozy. Something that, almost like a cabin, I guess you can say, right? Tell me if you have that same vibe in the comments below. So let's go ahead inside and see what we got. It's not a very big one, but it is beautiful nonetheless. So let's go and explore, see what we can find around and inside. So here we discover a channeling enchanted book, which is pretty awesome. We all love channeling. So that's that for that structure. Let's move on to the next one, which is sort of similar. However, it does have this big giant tree with the loot crate behind it. It's a nice little hidden piece of treasure. So we got a couple more diamonds from this loot crate. So if anyone else, this tree reminds me, not exactly the color, but it reminds me of the Tree of Might for any Dragon Ball Z fans from the 90s. However, let's go ahead and move inside the house now and see what we can find in this little cozy cabin. So I decided to take advantage of the iron ingots I was finding and make a iron pickaxe. I kind of played through this as if I was in survival in a way, just so you guys could kind of explore these structures with me, because I felt that that would be the best way to go ahead and do that. So funnily enough, the structures kind of blended in together when I spawned them in using the commands that were given to me. And it just seamlessly took me across to the next structure, which is the Golden Birch Bridge, or you can call this the Golden Gate Bridge. Don't mind me. We can explore this. It's not big, but it does have loot crates, and it does have a mob spawner in this one, which does differentiate it from the other bridge that we saw earlier in the, I believe it was a Fiery Forest, a Fury Forest. So same thing. Does have loot crates, does have, you know, balanced rewards. So that's it for that one. So now let's go visit, I believe this is the last structure in the Golden Birch Forest, which is another giant tree, and this one is pretty awesome as well, with some hidden loot crates, if you've seen that right there. So this one will be occupied with a spider spawner as well. But of course they're not out because it's not nighttime, if I'm correct. Let's go ahead and check out these loot crates. Kind of sped through them because they seem to be the same loot no matter which structure you go to, it seems. But I did want to show you, right behind that wall, there is diamond ore. So stay vigilant, my friends. Let's continue on. Now let's make our way to the desert oasis to see what awaits us there. So these are some of my favorite structures as well. Just the designs are just beautiful. Careful with that loot crate there, if you don't miss it. Now let's go check out this Sphinx looking structure. So this one doesn't contain much, just that items that you saw there. So let's make our way to the next one, which is a pyramid. As you can see, we'll get to that one shortly. So this one has a spawner as well. I believe it is a husk spawner. There's a lower level. And I encourage you to dig around because there might be some secret rooms that I might have missed. I'm not 100% sure. But this is the pyramid. There's no items in the chest like I mentioned earlier. Same thing on this side, there's no chest at all. So let's move on to our next structure after I bug out. So this one has a really cool design. It does have a well in the middle of the structure. So this kind of reminds me of something that would kind of fit into desert villages as well. Seems like a perfect fit. So of course we have our usual loot crates with loot inside. And with that said, let's go ahead and do some more exploring of the structure because this one does have some more depth to it than the previous two. So this here is our last desert oasis structure. It's another pyramid, but it does have a different interior and different ways to get inside as well. This is a cool little hiding spot. And enjoy the scenery of the interior before we get to our final two structures of this add-on. So let's head to the Pine Forest one and only structure, which is another cozy cabin. So I'm not a very good builder. So when I saw this, when I came in, this was like the perfect structure or build that I would have ever wanted if I were to build in a forest. So I might be taking something like this for myself in the future for my survival worlds. So if you make your way to the top of this, there's a hidden diamond ore that you can get. So this is why I always say stay vigilant, because there might be some hidden rooms that I missed somewhere that you might find on your own. So now we make our way to the last and final structure of the add-on, which is found in the red Alder forest. We did look at this one sort of briefly earlier during the video, but I'll go ahead and run through it one more time to see if if I find something that I missed previously. But so I know this was a very long video, my longest yet, but it did have a lot of content. So if you did make it to the end of this video, I want to extend my deepest gratitude because I really appreciate you watching what you can. If you like the video, please don't forget to leave a like, consider subscribing, and hit the notification bell if you want to see more like this. See you soon, guys.